Have you ever heard a story so strange, so chilling, that it stays with you long after you've heard it? A story where the facts don't add up, and every answer only leads to more questions. Today, we're journeying deep into the snowy Ural Mountains of Russia to a place where one of history's most baffling and terrifying mysteries unfolded. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. In the winter of 1959, a group of 10 experienced hikers, mostly students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, set out on a challenging expedition. Led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, they were aiming to reach a Torton mountain, a name that in the local Mansi language means "don't go there." It's a name that would soon become hauntingly prophetic. The group was skilled, well-equipped, and in high spirits. They documented their journey with diaries and photographs, capturing moments of camaraderie and the stark, beautiful wilderness around them. We can see them laughing, building campfires, and pushing through the deep snow. Everything seemed perfectly normal. One member, Yuri Yudin, had to turn back early due to illness, a decision that would unknowingly save his life. The remaining 9 pressed on. Their last known campsite was established on the slopes of a mountain named Kolatsayekal, which translates to Dead Mountain. They were expected to send a telegram on February 12th when they finished their route, but that telegram never came. Days turned into weeks, and when silence was all that followed, a search party was sent out. What they discovered on February 26th was not a simple case of lost hikers. It was the beginning of a nightmare. The search party found the group's tent, but it was bizarrely damaged. It had been sliced and ripped open from the inside, as if the occupants had been desperate to escape something within the tent itself. Their belongings, boots, warm clothing, supplies were all left behind. Footprints in the snow led away from the camp, down the slope towards a dense forest, but the footprints were strange. They were made by people who were either barefoot, wearing only socks, or a single boot. In the brutal, sub-zero temperatures of a Russian winter, this was a death sentence. The first 2 bodies were found about a mile away, under a large cedar tree at the edge of the forest. They were Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko. They were dressed only in their underwear, and the branches on the cedar tree above them were broken, suggesting someone had tried to climb it, perhaps to see something, or escape from something. Nearby were the remains of a small fire. A bit farther up the slope, between the cedar tree and the camp, 3 more bodies were discovered: Igor Dyatlov, Zina Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin. Their positions suggested they were trying to crawl back to the tent, fighting against the elements. They had died of hypothermia, but the mystery was far from over. It would take another 2 months for the spring thaw to reveal the final, and most disturbing, pieces of the puzzle. In May, buried under more than 10 feet of snow in a ravine, the remaining 4 hikers were found: Lyudmila Dubinina, Alexander Kolavatov, Nikolai Thobobrinyolis, and Semyon Zolotaryev. The injuries they sustained were horrific. The Bobrinyolis had a fractured skull. Kolavatov was found with them, and then there was Dubinina and Zolotaryev. Both had suffered catastrophic chest fractures, the kind of force a doctor compared to a high-speed car crash. Shockingly, despite these crushing internal injuries, there were no significant external wounds. Even more bizarrely, Lyudmila Dubinina was missing her tongue and eyes. Medical examiners concluded that 6 of the hikers died of hypothermia, but the other 3 died from their traumatic injuries. The official investigation was abruptly closed, with the final report stating that the hikers had died as a result of a compelling unknown force. The files were classified and hidden away for decades. A compelling unknown force. What could that possibly mean? This vague conclusion only fueled speculation, turning the Dyatlov Pass Incident into a legend. So, what happened on that frozen mountainside? The theories are as wild and varied as the mystery itself. The most straightforward explanation is an avalanche. The theory goes that a slab avalanche buried part of their tent, causing them to panic, cut their way out, and flee into the darkness. Disoriented and hypothermic, they scattered, leading to their tragic deaths. Some of the severe injuries could have been caused by the crushing weight of the snow. However, this theory has major problems. The investigators found no signs of an avalanche. The tent wasn't fully buried, and the slope wasn't steep enough for a major slide. Plus, the hikers' tracks leading away from the tent were orderly, not the chaotic scramble you'd expect from people fleeing an avalanche. And how does an avalanche explain the missing tongue or the selective, brutal internal injuries? This leads us to more sinister theories. Could they have been attacked? The local Mansi people were initially suspected, but their sacred sites were not near the campsite, and the hikers' injuries were not consistent with a human attack. There were no signs of struggle at the camp. What about a military experiment gone wrong? The area was known for secret Soviet weapons testing. This theory suggests the hikers stumbled upon something they shouldn't have seen. The powerful, concussive injuries could be explained by some sort of explosive or pressure weapon. Some reports even mention strange orange spheres or lights seen in the sky around that time, leading to speculation about secret aircraft or even missile tests. This could also explain the government's secrecy and the vague conclusion. Some of the hikers' clothing was also found to be radioactive, though the levels were relatively low. And then we enter the realm of the truly strange. The paradoxical undressing where hypothermic individuals feel hot and remove their clothes is a known phenomenon. But what about the other bizarre elements? This has led to theories involving everything from infrasound low-frequency sound that can induce panic and dread to encounters with something not of this world. The idea of a Russian Yeti, or Mank, has been proposed. Could a large, territorial creature have terrified the hikers, causing them to flee their tent and inflicting those devastating injuries? For over 60 years, the Dyatlov Pass Incident has remained a gaping hole in the fabric of rational explanation. We have photographs of their final days, journal entries of their optimistic trek, and the chilling crime scene of their final night. But the pieces just don't fit. Was it a natural disaster, a military secret, or something else entirely? The one man who survived, Yuri Yudin, spent his entire life trying to find answers, but he passed away in 2013, the mystery still unsolved. The case was officially reopened in 2019, and the new investigation concluded that an avalanche was indeed the most likely cause, but even this conclusion is heavily debated and doesn't satisfy many of the strange details. The compelling unknown force remains just that known. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes the world holds mysteries that defy our understanding, leaving us with nothing but questions in the cold, silent snow. What do you think really happened to those 9 hikers on Dead Mountain? Let me know your theories in the comments below. This is one story that will continue to fascinate and terrify for generations to come. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed diving into history's greatest mysteries, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.